You never know who's going to stop by at the social.
Love it here. The social is such a great show.
I'm wearing a Canadian tuxedo. Are you ready?
Yes.
Or what we're going to say or do.
I trust you.
There's no such thing as too much information.
We talk a lot of sex on the social over the years.
Size doesn't always matter, you know.
My body is not a lasagna.
Plus fitness, fashion,
I love this.
and food.
Oh my God.
I love my job.
The fun never ends at the social.
Come on over to our side.
This week on The Social, entertain family and friends without going broke. Financial expert Melissa Ien comes bearing tips for the frugal holiday host.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so we know it can be a real challenge during the holidays for kids to show thanks and gratitude when they're unwrapping a homemade pair of wool socks or a toy they already have.
Oh, we know that. You want them spoiled, right? But just not spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
Well, our next guests are here to help. Please welcome back to the studio the authors of Gratitude and Kindness, Modern Parents' Guide to Raising Children in an Era of Entitlement, Carla and Lisa Ferrari.
Welcome back. This is the season where it's so easy to get swept up in the stuff. So why is it so important, especially right now, to slow down and teach and reaffirm gratitude, especially in our lives and our kids' lives?
Yeah. Well, you know, gratitude, having that mindset is really important to staying calm. But among other things, it also makes us happier. Much happier, we sleep better, we can cope with day-to-day challenges. And so gratitude is really a key feature in being calm all year round, but it especially helps us during the holiday season.
So I have to ask this, Carla. You know, you'll say to your kids sometimes if they're not grateful for something, you know, other kids have it a lot worse. There are kids in your own city, there are kids on another continent, and you almost force the gratitude. Does that ever work?
In short, no.
Okay. I'm glad you're so succinct.
Well, here's the thing, right? We want to inspire the growth of gratitude. When we get our kids feeling guilty or shameful about what they have, it shuts down the process right there. If we help them to notice what they do have, opportunities, friends, maybe stuff, it helps them to feel more grateful. And when they're grateful and they're feeling like they've got enough, then they're able to empathize and understand the other. So we want to inspire, not lecture.
Okay, inspire, not lecture. Okay, inspire, not lecture.
Good stuff.
So this is the time of year when the kids, you know, you're making sure the kids are saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So what, though, is the trick from making those just words kind of robotic to actually teaching them the meaning, the real meaning behind that? What's the trick for parents?
Yeah. Well, we'd like to model to our kids. First off, we want to start ourselves by giving them a different language, right? By us, in particular, using a certain type of language. So anything from I appreciate to I notice, I recognize. These are real good ways of starting that gratitude dialogue, right? Which helps to deepen the meaning to the thank you. So I recognize, or how about I notice? I noticed that Daddy made us a really colorful omelet today, right? Or I appreciate the tea you brought me because it smells so good. Those are two elements in there, which is the sight and smell, right? So we want to tap into senses, the things that you see that are visually pleasing, the things that you hear, feel, and taste.
Yeah. So I have a 2.5-year-old, almost 3, but she knows if someone gives her something and I look at her and she's, thank you. Like, there's no way though, right? I know she's just saying it probably to make me happy. So is there any way for me to start teaching her that there is meaning behind that, again, rather than just being like, this is the social norm?
Right. Yeah. Well, the words thank you, we don't expect a toddler to understand, right? Because they don't. But what they do understand is the emotion behind the words. So you want to be really clear about when you are appreciating something that your emotion matches it. Kids are they pick up on their learning through nonverbal cues. So everything, all the modeling that you do is what they need in order to learn what the thank you means or what appreciation means.
Okay, so that's amazing stuff. So for the parents out there with multiple kids, okay, I've got a 12-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy, and they like to keep score about who gets what. Yeah. So Blaze got this for dessert. I didn't get this. Or, you know, Blaze will say, Dash got this. I didn't get that when I was 5. They keep score. You know, so how do you respond when kids, and both of mine do this, keep tabs on every little thing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, your younger is probably following the older, right?
There you go.
Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's normal, and it's not that atypical. But the knee-jerk response for most parents is in the moment to do a behavioral intervention, like that's not so nice, or don't compare. And we're not saying don't necessarily do that, but the real lasting change is in the pre and in the post.
Explain that.
Okay, so what we want to do is every day try to have our kids attuned to what they do have, feelings of being filled up, feelings of having enough. So they're not sort of like going through life going, he got a shinier thing, she got a bigger slice of cake. So trying to really each day build that up. And then if our child has had an experience where they're kind of doing the pout in the corner, like, oh, I didn't get it in line first, whatever it should happen to be, trying to talk about it with them afterwards. Did you like that feeling of feeling dissatisfied and spending that time in your head in comparison? They're very likely to say not so much, right? And so we're going to coach them about how to feel differently in those situations.
Okay, let's get right here in the middle of the season. So it's very common in most families around this season, if they're lucky to, the kids get to submit a wish list for the holidays. This is what I want for Christmas. What is your take on that? Because to me, you are breeding an entitled brat.
Well, we want to remind kids and parents alike that it is a wish list. It's not a get list. Okay? Like, you really want to make that distinction. It's a wish list, not a get list, and it's something that we do with the families that we consult with that they really, really enjoy is this idea of a 5-to-1 ratio. So for every one wish, we have them talk to their kids about 5 things they can do, give, or say to someone else, right? So if they're, you know, and so every family can make whatever ratio works for them. You don't want to spring it on your kids. You just want to be able to say to them, what do you think of this idea? Do you like the concept? Are you good with 5-to-1? Do you want it to be 3-to-1, 2-to-1? But that's really the concept behind it, is having kids sort of buy in and really making it clear that it's a wish and not a gimme, get me kind of thing.
That's the thing right there. That's the ticket. This is such great information, Lisa and Carla. You're going to give us some exercises now that we can do with our kids to make them mindful year-round, because that's what we really want to do, create mindful kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about this idea of think it, say it, write it.
Okay.
So what can parents take home today? So what is the idea of think it in terms of gratitude?
Right, so think it is something that you could do, like a simple walk that families typically do. You might want to talk to your kids about doing something different. We call it actually a gratitude walk. So setting the intention that this walk is going to be a little different. This walk is going to be more about noticing 3 things that you see on the walk that are pleasing to you, noticing 3 things that you hear, or 3 things that you feel. It could be any variation of that, but it's setting the intention to be attuned with the environment and to be appreciating the surroundings around you.
Love that. Okay, Carla, what about speak it? What does that mean? And how do we go about doing that?
Speak it is one level up. Research demonstrates that thinking it gives us good gratitude. Speaking it is the next level up, more powerful, and then we'll talk about the next one next. But what we like to do, a little experiment, is sometimes to challenge our families to not say thank you for a day. Instead, rephrase it. It takes a little more thinking and a little more feeling. I appreciate that you gave me that last piece of pizza. Right? I notice it. I appreciate it. Right? And it's fun.
Goes further. You're right.
And the most powerful.
And the most powerful you say is write it.
Write it, right? So, and that's simply starting a gratitude journal.
Yeah. Audience agrees.
Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be homework for your kids, right? It's supposed to be really simple. It's 3 things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be done every day. The research tells us 3 times a week is plenty to get the gratitude benefits. Yeah. And if your kids aren't quite ready to start it, model the behavior, start your own.
Lisa and Carla, we appreciate you. We'll have even more ideas on how to raise grateful kids up at thesocial.ca right after the show. See you right back here right after this.